Keir Starmer is a horrible prime minister. He is no doubt the most hated prime minister in the UK's history. Have a look at this. This clown, Tutia Kier, was virtually signaling everyone after George Floyd's death. We kneel with all those opposing anti-black racism. Look at him taking the knee, virtue signaling everyone. This is horrible, blah, blah, blah. But now, look at him. He's blaming Elon Musk for politicizing Henry Nowak's death. And he's blaming Elon Musk for the British people to get angry about this. British people are angry because Elon Musk is tweeting about this issue. Look at this clown.
We need to also assert who we are as a country, because Musk, again, has been interfering in our politics in the last few days, trying to whip up division. That is
trying to whip up division. Didn't he do that here? Isn't that what you're doing here, you clown? Isn't that what you're doing here? Do these people forget what they've already done? Or they're just disingenuous people? I'll go with the latter.
It's not who we are in Britain. In Britain, we are reasonable, tolerant people. When we have a terrible case like Henry's case, Henry Nowak, we react calmly, as his family have done. When it comes to disgusting images on Grok, we take Grok on and fight, because that's who we are as a country.
He's going after an AI model and is angry that Elon Musk is politicizing this issue. And what does he say? We are tolerant and anyway, but things are out of his hands. Have a look at this. People are protesting. People are out on the streets. This is not going to go away. I hoped that Irina Zarutska's death would become a pivotal moment. Unfortunately, it didn't. It definitely played a role. A lot of people came out. A lot of conservatives came out, surprisingly, because I am very pro-Ukraine. Even Zelensky highlighted the issue, but usually the Democrats who supposedly support Ukraine went absolutely quiet on that issue. So it just tells you, like, everyone loves to live in their own narratives bubble. That's it. Have a look at this. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. This is a watershed moment. This is going to be a cult. This is a turning point. It's not going to go away. Have a listen to this woman. She's black and has a brain.
This is genuinely more evil than what happened to George Floyd. He was an innocent boy. He did nothing wrong. It was just an accusation, and I was lost.
And there was no outcry.
No outcry.
Yeah, so, you know.
Guys, you got to remember, this happened in December 2025. It happened nearly 6 months ago. They kept it under wraps. They did not let anyone find out what happened, because probably they knew, and they're being so slimy ever since. Actually, I have more on that.
What's the difference there? Why is it like go for one and not for the other?
I think it's evidence of two-tier policing. It is evidence of two-tier policing. It's evidence of the fact that the system is broken, that it prioritizes minorities above white people of any ethnicity. It doesn't have to be English. It could be like Henry Nowak is Polish. And it just goes to show that it's deep.
Doesn't it look like Brock Lesnar? Look at him.
Broken. The critical race theory is evil. I think critical race theory is besides the police officers, is the primary culprit. It's an ideology that has infected this country, and we need it out.
Yeah, thank you. And where can we find you?
Freethinker Hannah. Hannah spelled Hannah, palindromic symmetrical.
Please give her a follow. She does great things, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not on X like that, but it's mainly Instagram and IG.
Thank you.
Okay, so you wouldn't believe how atrocious Southampton police is. Have a look at this. Sorry, Hampshire cops. I'll let this guy explain it to you. They actually still tried to pin the blame on Henry Nowak right after his death, 3 days after that.
This is disgusting. A new report details that Hampshire police were planning to paint Henry Nowak as the aggressor, even though they had evidence to the contrary, because they were worried about their reputations.
From it, just when you think that this story cannot get any more shocking, well, here we are. Breaking tonight, police at the centre of the Henry...
This is pure corruption, guys. I have to say that this is pure corruption. There's so many cover-ups. I used to think there are no cover-ups. I used to have so much faith in our institutions. And every time when someone would say something about a cover-up, I would just discard it as, you know, some crazy wild-eyed tinfoil hat-wearing conspiracy theorist. But look at this. Cover-ups after cover-ups after cover-ups. How can we trust any of these people?
Nowak scandal reportedly tried to intervene during his killer's murder trial over fears about what people were saying online. According to the Sunday Times, the Hampshire police wanted to issue a public statement during the trial to combat what they called misinformation surrounding the case. But prosecutors warned the force, that doing so could risk jeopardising the integrity of the trial itself. And tonight, the revelations go even further, and I would suggest even darker. The paper claims officers wanted to portray Henry Nowak as the aggressor in official statements released after his death, despite having evidence proving this was not the case, before changing course following what I would say is justified outrage from his grieving family.
So the grieving family put pressure on them and they said, what are you doing with us? Well, you're painting our boy as the aggressor and the other guy as a victim, or at least, you know why they were doing that? It was a natural course of action because they knew they had messed up and they knew that this is eventually going to come out. So they thought, how about we pervert the course of justice and we concoct a totally different narrative. I don't care whether that's true or not, just to save our own backsides. Because he was the bad guy. That's why the police officer who attended did not pay any attention, because he was the bad guy. And let's hope everything goes away. That's what they planned. They tried to affect the entire judicial process, the entire case, and the entire prosecution.
3 days after 18-year-old Henry was stabbed to death in Southampton, Hampshire, police drafted an official statement that would have painted Henry as the aggressor, despite already knowing his killer, Vikram Digwa, was lying about being racially attacked. They were going to do this during the trial to prejudice the jury. And they were preparing to warn the public not to discuss the case online and to smear a murdered British teenager in order to protect themselves. The only reason it didn't happen is because Henry's grieving family saw the draft and refused to let it happen. The state actively trying to blame the white British victim while shielding the non-white killer.
You'd ask, this is a genuine question, because this is what Hampshire police has been trying to assert ever since this case became public knowledge, that we didn't know, we were misled. If you were misled in that moment, who was misleading you 3 days after? Why were you painting a completely different picture? Why were you doing that? You were clearly doing that to support your original narrative. You were covering up despite knowing the truth. This is more sinister than a silly police officer who was indoctrinated with woke training modules or whatnot, and then he made a mistake. This is worse than that. This is not a mistake. This is a deliberate action. Who was involved in that? What other detectives were involved in that? These guys should be actually charged. These later officers should be charged for perverting the course of justice, fraud, corruption. I don't know. This should not just go away, guys. This should not go away. This is why I'm saying this is a watershed moment. We need to use this as an opportunity to change the culture that has been swinging, that has been going in one direction, the wrong direction, I might add. We need to reverse the course. This is a golden opportunity to do that. And this is why they're afraid of this. They are afraid of these people who are angry. Have a look at this. Look at this police officer. This is inexcusable. This police officer is saying that, oh, I'm angry too. Have a watch.
Have you seen the footage? What did you think? Do you think it's right? I get it. Thank you very much. You get it? You're angry. I'm angry too. I am. Good. You guys get
I do my job. I'm just keeping everyone safe. That's all I'm doing.
I'm just doing my job. Where have we heard this before? In the Nuremberg trials. That's where we heard that. And I thought that they said, well, we were just following orders is not an acceptable excuse. Britain was at the forefront of rejecting that as an excuse. So I know it's easy for me to say, but these people should resign. There should be a movement of mass resignation. Surely you'll find something else. You'll find a different job. You'll find a better job. I could never be a police officer, especially in the UK. I couldn't. If these are the orders that I have to follow, then I don't think I could do that. But the good news is it is being noticed. So the State Department issued this statement, 3 days ago, and it has absolutely pissed off everyone else, every lefty politicians in the UK. Ideological conditioning and two-tiered policing are glaring symptoms of civilizational decline. They must be rejected across the West. I love it when the Trump administration portrays it as a Western issue, as a Western civilizational issue, because that's exactly what it is. This is above the US or Britain or Australia or our petty differences. This is above that. This is a Western civilizational issue. And the sooner we recognize this, the better, because our enemy sees it as one. Our enemy, like, don't they look so coordinated? The Muslim vote is doing its thing in Australia. The same Muslim vote, which is supposedly independent of each other. The Muslim vote UK is doing its thing in the UK. And the Muslim Brotherhood and Qatari billions in American and British universities, they're doing their thing. And the Muslim Brotherhood is doing its own thing in America. Surely it's not a coincidence. Surely they're looking at the West as the enemy of Islam. Not an enemy, the enemy. It's the enemy. That's it, period. And I understand this mindset. I'm a former Muslim. So it is important for everyone to understand that whether you're a lefty or a righty, you need to wake up and smell the coffee. Because your enemies, our enemies, they see us as one.